final week of the preseason is underway. A lot more to see here on NFL Network and NFL Plus. 8:15 p.m. tonight, Patriots, Titans. Two former co-workers going up against each other. Then it's 10 o'clock tonight, Chargers, 49ers. And then tomorrow, triple header. This is great. Browns take on the Chiefs. Aaron Rodgers makes his Jets debut against the Giants. Sean O'Hara saying Giants probably not playing their ones, but that shouldn't matter for the Jets. They just want to figure a couple things out up front. And then the Rams head to Denver to take on Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Of course, we're all waiting on bated breath to see what the Broncos offense looks like with Sean Payton at the helm. That's all right here on NFL Network. And if you're on the move, which I'm sure all of us with kids are going to be this weekend, NFL Plus. Yeah. Sign up, get it, and then you're kind of set for the season. Like we mentioned, a lot of football to watch in the next 48 hours. One thing that you would like to see this final weekend, Peter, of preseason action?
I'm going to watch the games tonight. There's a few games tonight. I'm going to put on NFL Network, and it's going to be 10 o'clock Eastern, and the kids are going to be in bed, and my wife's going to look at me and say, finally, it's just a two. And I'm going to say, sorry, Chargers 49ers preseason is on, and that's what I'll be watching, and I want to see Trey Lance. I want to see what he's about. This isn't an indictment on Trey Lance that I'm looking at preseason game 3 to see what he's about and what he's made of, but he got knocked on the floor pretty hard this week. And that was a tough pill to swallow, that not only is he not going to start for the 49ers, he's not going to be the backup either. He's going to be the third quarterback at San Francisco. Unless Trey Lance comes out tonight and lights it up and puts on a show and proves to a team somewhere that, you know what, Trey Lance is a better option as our backup than what we currently have in-house. And you know what? If Isaiah Simmons, a former top 10 pick, is going for a 7, maybe we can get Trey Lance for a 4 or a 5, and the 49ers are willing to part with him. Trey Lance is going to play tonight, and it's going to be ridiculed if he throws an incomplete or if he makes a mistake, and people are going to call him the biggest bust of all time. Or Trey Lance is going to be awesome. And Trey Lance is going to look to the rest of the league and Twitter and all the people who cover this game and the fans who have been so critical about him being a third string in San Francisco after 2 years of being on the team. And he's going to make a point that say, hey, you know what? I am an NFL quarterback in this league. I am still just 23 years old, and I was worthy of the number 3 overall pick, and I still got a lot of football left to play. This isn't the inspirational story I think Trey Lance wanted in 2023. Yeah. I don't know. Go have yourself a night. Trey Lance, I'm rooting for you tonight. I will unabashedly say that. And if he does really well, guess what? That does the 49ers well, too, because maybe they'll get something in exchange. So, Trey Lance, go have yourself a night. Go light up the Chargers.
No White Lotus for you.
No, we're not watching the White Lotus. We've already done that.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, been there, done that. Yeah, we're all rooting for Trey Lance. The situation he's in, how everything's transpired. We want to see him go out there and ball. But I'm going with a quarterback that isn't struggling to find where he's at on the depth chart. He's QB1. He was the first overall pick of the draft this year. I want to see Bryce Young go out there and cook. In these first 2 preseason games, standing behind a struggling offensive line, hasn't been able to get much action. 7 of 12, 56 yards on 5 drives. And we've heard that he's had a really good preseason in practice, that he's doing well, he's getting the ball out. Adam Thielen has raved about him, the way he prepares every day, his abilities in practice once the ball is in his hand. We haven't seen it in game action, and I know it's not fair to put it all on Bryce Young because he's gotten hit a ton throughout the preseason. I want to see him go out here in this last game, and I want to see their offense. Frank Reich, the new head coach there, I want to see those guys go out there and be able to get something going with a good taste in their mouth going into week 1 of the season. Be able to protect him, have him throw some down the field, get some completions. Just get a good mojo going for this offense who is trying to recreate themselves, bringing in a brand new system and a brand new rookie quarterback. I want to see those guys execute. He has a veteran in Adam Thielen. DJ Chark is going through some injuries as well. But for him, we want to see what we all watched during the draft and what we all watched at Alabama. Him back there being that point guard that everybody said throughout the process with the ball in his hand and just distributing it out there to all of his targets. And just, you want it to be fun. And when Bryce Young is getting hit play after play, it is not fun.
In my time, in my 4 years covering the SEC for CBS, it was 2018 to 2021. So 18 and 19 at Alabama, it was Tua, then Mac Jones, then Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking a lot about Tua this week and just his response to comments that were made about his offseason and whatnot, and just the young man that I knew in 2018 and 19 at Alabama and the personality, and then what we saw this week. He reminds me most of a Bryce Young, or Bryce Young reminds me of Tua. Very calm, confident young men that they don't want to have to say a lot about their work. They want their play to speak for themselves. But I think, we haven't seen this from Bryce Young yet, but we saw it this week. If Tua feels like he gets pushed one way too far, he is going to speak on his own behalf. And we called him Salty Tua. I'm going to change the condiment a little bit. I'm going to go Spicy Tua.
Okay.
I want to see Spicy Tua, not only this weekend, but this season. Spicy Tua is going to have an edge. I don't know when the spice is going to hit you. Is it going to be on the back end of that spicy tuna bite? Is it going to be on the front end? But Spicy Tua, I think, is going to have some heat on him this season. And sometimes the spice, it works with you. Sometimes it can leave teams a little heartburn on the back end. Okay. But Salty Tua doesn't have the longevity to me as much as Spicy Tua does. Not spicy tuna, Sean.
Yeah, no,
Spicy
that's where I'm
Tua.
going. You know where I'm going. You read my mind. I'm thinking, give me some wasabi on that too. I'll finish it off with a little ginger slice. Yeah, I like spicy tuna, and I love Spicy Tua.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll go with that. Look, the preseason is funny to me because I feel like before the preseason starts, we're all like, man, we're so excited. Football's back. Like, we're fired up for these games. By the third preseason game, we're all like, all right, we're over the preseason. Like, what's the deal? My son's playing football. It's his second year, and I'm trying to explain to him why the preseason games don't matter. He's like, I can't believe this team lost 24-0. He's like, you don't understand it. And I'm like, he's like, I thought they were good. And I'm like, it's the preseason. Like, relax. Like, they're not playing all their starters. He's like,
Falcons might not be good.
Why wouldn't they play their starters?
I mean,
right, yeah. He might know more than I do. And I'm like, they don't play all their starters. He's like, so then why do they have these games? I don't understand it. And I said, son, the preseason games are not for your starters. It's not for your veterans. It's for the young guys. It's the depth of the team. And it's also because somebody's going to make the team. I was an undrafted free agent. I went to camp. I was the third string center. I ended up making the team. It was because of the preseason games. I got a chance to play in those games and show that I belong. Somebody else is going to do that. I think back to Victor Cruz. I think it was 2010 when he had his breakout game against the Jets right here in MetLife Stadium. He had a phenomenal game, lit him up, and that solidified his position on the team. There's going to be an undrafted free agent that's going to make a squad. They're going to make a team. Maybe the team they're on or maybe another team. Those stories are what the preseason is all about, and I can't wait for it.
Yes,
but I also feel like we can have a little more fun with these preseason games, right? Like if we're gonna sprinkle guys out there and do some other stuff, can we get some O-line touchdowns?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, this is the Victor Cruz stuff. I'm past the Victor Cruz stuff, but there he is wearing number 3. This was his light-up game.
We got it.
Was that?
Click on it.
We wanted offensive linemen
Out of UMass, baby.
Was that Jim Sorgi throwing the ball?
Sorgi.
I wrote the book with Victor Cruz. Rhett Bomar was the other quarterback.
Rhett Bomar, yes.
Two of them lighting it up.
Vic, he lit it up right there. It was.
Here's some offensive lineman stuff, right?
This is what I'm talking about. Can we have some fun? Can we get some O-line tutties?
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas right there with his big touchdown. We got Lane Johnson getting one. This is what fans want to see. They want to see the big fellas.
I don't know if that's true, Sean. Maybe you want to see it.
I mean, look, they're tired of seeing all the people that aren't going to be on the team. There's Nick Allegretti getting one. They want to see fun. They want to see the thick six. That's what they're all about right there. Who's that? Tommy Doyle? Listen, they want
only an offensive lineman would know all these linemen scoring the touchdown.
Right, but here's the thing.
Spencer Doyle.
Guess what? Last year, you know how many offensive linemen caught touchdown passes?
0.
None. Not one O-line touchdown.
How dare they?
How dare they? The year before, there was 8. So
there were 8?
We got to run it back. There was 8.
We got to blame the offensive coordinators. They got to draw. Because the offensive lineman, he's not scoring a touchdown. You can't just line him up at their receiver. He's not getting open. So they have to draw some trickery and try to trick the entire defense to score a touchdown.
What do you mean O-lineman
This is not really the argument that we planned on having right now.
We can get open. What are you talking about?
Has there ever been an offensive design touchdown in the preseason? I would feel like they would save that in the back of the playbook. They wouldn't want to show it.
I don't know.
It would have been Jeff Fisher doing it if there was one.
Why Fisher?
Well, you remember back in 2009, he comes out with the fake punt to A.J. Trapasso, the punter, and he fakes it right there, and he takes off down the sideline. So it would have had to be a guy like Jeff Fisher to come up with something like that.
I want to see an offensive lineman touchdown for your happiness.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having some sympathy for that.
I'm kind of good
some of these guys are going to get cut.
Six.
Some of these guys are going to get cut. This may be the last time they ever put on a football uniform or a helmet. Send them off with a touchdown and a
it won't count, though.
I feel like they'd rather not score a touchdown and make the team.